You know what they say, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. From sky dancers to CSI fingerprint kits that contained asbestos, these are the toys that should have never been made in the first place. Wait until you see how dangerous the fidget spinner gets. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now sit back, relax, and check out these 10 toys that weren't supposed to be for kids. Growing Up Skipper. If there's a toy out there that really wasn't meant to be for children, it's Growing Up Skipper. Skipper was launched in 1964 and she was supposed to be Barbie's younger sister. Skipper had blonde hair, a red headband, and a cute red, blue, and white dress. Seems pretty standard, right? Well, this Mattel toy came with a huge controversy when people learned how Skipper grows up. The toy was meant to teach kids about puberty. But was this the right way to show it? To make Skipper grow, you had to turn her arm and watch as she would grow half an inch taller. With that, she would also develop her feminine features, including breasts. The toy was advertised as 2 dolls in one, but for a lot of parents, this was simply one of those products that should never have made it out into public. Many were outraged and grimaced at the thought of having a boy version of the doll, while others said it was completely normal. What's your take on teaching children about puberty through Barbie dolls? Growing Up Skipper definitely isn't the only controversial toy out there. Many seem to think our next edible toy should never exist, but children can't seem to stop playing around with it. Candy cigarettes. But we always talk about Mattel in other videos, so let's explore some other questionable toys out there. Another kid's product that shouldn't really be on the market for children are candy cigarettes. As a child, did you ever pretend that you were smoking by breathing out cold air? We can imagine almost everyone did that. We thought we were cool and that it made us look like grown-ups. Well, this toy takes it a little bit further. Candy cigarettes are just what you think they are. They're edible, but they come in a packaging that's very similar to the actual cigarettes. While this is an edible product, kids also use them as toys, as they often show off and pretend they're smoking. But these edible toys raise an important question. Should we let our children think smoking is cool and fun in the first place? A 2007 survey asked 26,000 adults that smoke if there was a correlation between their habit and candy cigarettes consumed in their early lives. 22% of current smokers and former smokers also consumed candy cigarettes in their childhood. Could it be just a coincidence? Or is there really a link between the two? The doctor who conducted the research also mentioned that tobacco companies market their products before kids are even mature enough to hold an actual cigarette. While candy cigarettes might be a funny kids product, is it really a product that kids should play with in the first place? It's definitely an ongoing debate, but we think candy should come in more original shapes than just something that resembles a cigarette. Shave the Baby doll. It's safe to say this toy is a little bit disturbing, and out of all the toys on our list, it's probably the craziest. Yes, Shave the Baby is the toy's name, and it's exactly what you think it is. Luckily, this is just an art piece, but we hope a toy maker won't get inspired and turn the baby into a real product. Disturbing is not even a strong enough word that describes this art project, and we're really not sure what the meaning is behind it. If you think you have an idea, please let us know in the comments. This project comes from Warsaw in Poland, and it was created in 1995. It features 10 hairy baby dolls in cardboard-shaped boxes with the title, "You Can Shave the Baby." Perhaps the characters at the top of the box do indicate that this product is making a statement about the crazy toys we know from Japan. This toy went viral, but not a lot of people actually know the real reason why it exists in the first place. After all, art is open to interpretation, but maybe it's just best to leave this toy uninterpreted and move on to the next on our list. Lawn darts. If you're from the US and born before 1980, you'll remember these. Lawn darts were a game that involved throwing darts with weighted metal tips into plastic rings. It was fun, it made the kids active, and it kept them occupied for a while. Seems pretty innocent, right? Well, those 12-inch long metal tips were actually pretty sharp, and unfortunately, they managed to cause several injuries. The last thing parents want is to buy a toy that could potentially hurt their kid. And while it seemed like it was a lot of fun to throw the darts in the circles and come up with different ways to win the game, the piercing darts were too sharp for children. In 1988, the toy was officially banned. If you're looking for a toy similar to lawn darts, you're lucky, because an alternative to the sharp darts has been around since 1988. It's called Franklin Sports Soft Tip Target Toss, and it's pretty much based on the same concept. But as you can guess, the tip of the darts is round and soft. As a bonus point, these darts also light up. Bet you couldn't play with the original lawn darts in the dark, right? Don't go anywhere because we have more odd kid toys to show you. Our next toy is super cool, and we're actually really bummed it got banned. Atomic Energy Lab. The Atomic Energy Lab was one of the most impressive toys that ever existed. But was it really meant for kids? The toy was perfect for those who love to experiment, and looking from the outside, it seemed pretty harmless. The Atomic Energy Lab was made in the 1950s, and although you might not be familiar with this toy, we bet someone you know from an older generation is. The Atomic Energy Lab could perform over 150 scientific experiments, which sounds awesome, but unfortunately it had one flaw. The kit featured pieces of uranium samples that came with the radioactive warning label. Yes, this kid's toy featured radioactive elements. We bet there would be no way this product would even make it to the modern kids' stores. After many parents had raised the radioactive alarm, the toy was pulled from the shelves in 1952, just 1 year after it became available. While many argue that uranium is not one of the most radioactive elements out there, the concern for whether or not this was a completely irresponsible kid's toy still remains. And let's not forget to mention that this impressive radioactive kit cost a whopping $50. Would you buy it? Or would you spend it on something like our next toy, which is probably the weirdest thing we've ever seen? Epidermis. Toy makers really have no limit when it comes to their imagination, and we wonder what these guys were thinking when they decided to create Epidermis. Even their name makes it sound like it's anything but a toy for children. This toy belongs to the company called Carton Designs, and they decided to beat all other toys on our list by creating this unique thing. Sure, it's definitely unique, but would you ever play with Epidermis? The whole purpose of this toy was to create something completely obscene and watch how the kids would interact. The skin of this thing almost resembles humans, and according to the developers, this toy can also walk using fuel cells for energy. They also have weird looking hair at the front and are completely customizable. You can change their skin tone, hair color, or even add a tattoo or piercing, which, to be honest, does sound pretty cool. While we're sure there's just a much deeper meaning behind this toy that might actually make sense, we can't help but wonder, who is this toy created for? Is it really something a child would play with, or is it perhaps more suitable for an adult? We're not really sure it could compete with fidget spinners, Barbie dolls, Legos, and other popular interactive toy kids play with. Is this what the future toys will look like? Sky dancers. Have you ever wondered what happened to sky dancers? Sky dancers were similar to Barbie combined with a helicopter toy. They were on the market from 1994 to 2000, so we bet many of you probably played with this toy in your childhood. To make the dancers fly, all you had to do was pull the cord and watch it fly off. But there was an unpredictable problem with this toy that made it too dangerous to be played with by kids. These toys had propeller-like wings made of hard plastic, and once they were in the air, they spun very fast and could fly in random directions. This resulted in several injuries and could cause temporary blindness. As fascinating as the sky dancers were, the uncontrollable spinning wings made the toy hazardous. Galoob, the company behind the toy, had to recall almost 9 million sky dancers sold. CPSC also reported that Galoob never issued a warning on the toy's dangers. As a result, they received 150 injury reports, which included eye damage, a mild concussion, and other facial injuries. The toy makers didn't really think this one through, did they? If you're thinking about making toys for a living, we hope you'll learn an important lesson from this video and really make sure your toys are actually children-friendly. CSI Fingerprint Examination Kit. A CSI crime lab kit that lets you take fingerprints and lets you become a detective. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? You might remember this best-selling toy made by CBS. The kit was inspired by the popular CSI show, and it allowed you to take fingerprints like a true professional. Too bad this examination kit had to be discontinued in 2008 because it had a big problem. The company was sued by an asbestos victims organization, which managed to find potentially lethal asbestos fibers in the fingerprint powder. Considering this was meant for a product for children, CBS should make sure it doesn't involve any harmful substances. Inhaling asbestos can leave the fibers to stay in your lungs for a very long time and cause breathing and inflammatory problems that can later lead to threatening conditions. CBS agreed to recall the toy. Public Justice urged parents to immediately get the product out of their homes and keep it away from children at all times. Although CBS managed to produce several awesome toys, they failed to do the simple child safety check with this one. Speaking of child safety, we're pretty sure our next toy was not supposed to be a toy in the first place. It was pretty common hundreds of years ago, and it was used used to restrain people. Straightjacket. No matter what you think of children, this is one toy you should never give to a kid. Check out this mock-up of a straightjacket for kids that apparently now comes in a cute bear design. Don't worry though, because these straightjacket toys aren't real. They were made by a Brazilian company and installed in an actual store to promote new seasons of the Super Nanny show. Although the original idea behind this toy was meant to just be a joke, you can actually find straitjackets for kids on Amazon. Straitjackets were used to keep unruly people as still as possible. You might also be familiar with straitjackets if you're familiar with the famous magician Harry Houdini, who was the first to successfully free himself from the jacket. A straitjacket comes with long sleeves and several buckles, which you pull to hold the person's hand still. To get out of it, one must have to perform some serious gymnastic skills. We know kids are awful at keeping still, but please don't ever put your child in a straitjacket. But there's a toy out there that's so common and so widespread that might even be more bizarre than any other toy on our list. Fidget spinners. Last but definitely not least, let's have a chat about fidget spinners. This toy craze is going out of control, and we bet you're playing with a fidget spinner right now. While their primary purpose is to reduce anxiety and help you focus in times when you just can't stop fidgeting, they can also be very dangerous. Hundreds of these spinning gadgets have now been recalled from shops and supermarkets because they contain small parts that can be easily ingested. United Kingdom's Trading Standards Institute reports that they have found several versions of these toys to be completely unsuitable for children. Many come with LED lights and sharp ends, but they fail to have warning labels that ensure parents are aware of potential hazards that come with the toys if parts of it are accidentally swallowed. The Trading Standards Institute also states that you should always check the packaging and make sure you only buy toys from a reputable manufacturer. An Australian mom reported an incident of her child almost losing an eye when throwing the fidget spinner in the air. Much like sky dancers, these toys can become sharp. And as they spin very fast, they can easily cause unpredicted damage. The original fidget spinner definitely wasn't meant for children, but let us know in the comments if it helps you focus. That's it for 10 toys that weren't supposed to be for kids, but if you want more, make sure to check out 10 strange reasons kid toys were banned. See you next time!